Review John Carpenter's The Thing. Superior has spoken.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Luke Innes here. We're talking about a classic of horror here today. This one was requested by one Mr. Superior. There's a link to his channel in the description. So, today we're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. The movie was, of course, directed by John Carpenter and stars Kurt Russell. So the plot essentially concerns a research team based in the Antarctic who happen upon a dog that a Norwegian chopper crew are attempting to kill. They take the dog in and soon discover exactly why the crew weren't so pleased with its existence, let's say. It turns out to be a shape-shifting alien that was thawed out of the ice that can imitate anything it comes into close contact with, human or animal. Paranoia sets in as the members of the team begin to suspect each other of being one of these creatures, as they try to battle for survival in the cold of the Antarctic. One thing that's got to be said about The Thing is that it's grim. This is a movie that has got a really grim feel. You know, you can feel the coldness of what's going on. You know, this is a real chiller of a movie, both in the kind of horror sense of the word and in terms of, you know, the kind of general feel of the movie. And I mean, that is kind of, you know, ratified straight away. There's a scene quite near the start where they go to visit the Norwegian base where this helicopter has come from, that they see at the start, and they discover all of the crew dead, and there's one guy who has cut his wrists and slit his throat with a straight razor, and he's frozen to death in his chair, and, you know, he's lying in his chair and his wrists are slit and his throat's cut and there's like frozen blood. You know, it's striking images like that that really give this film that really chilling, creepy vibe. This idea that without kind of proper facilities, this weather can kill you, that adds on to the kind of terror of the piece. It's got to be said that the creature effects in this movie are really, really well done. You know, these creatures look really believable. During the autopsy scenes, it all looks very genuine. You know, when it's trying to, you know, copy the dogs and whatnot, the corpses of these animals all look great. And consider the fact as well that it was all done practically. So the kind of beauty of it is all the more, you know, that there was no easy way out used here. It was all, you know, the famous defibrillator scene is just a perfect example of that. You know, no one sees that coming when, you know, the jaws open up and all of that. No one sees, and then obviously you've got the great effect of the arms coming off. Superb, love it. The score for the movie is actually by Ennio Morricone, which is interesting as it does impact the movie quite greatly. Usually John Carpenter scores his own movies, but in this case he decided to hand that duty over to someone else. And it's really obvious that this isn't a Carpenter score. When you compare the score of this movie to something like Escape from New York or Assault on Precinct 13, which are Carpenter pen scores, it's much more cinematic and quite grandiose, and, you know, there's much more sort of orchestration and stuff, whereas a typical Carpenter score will be sort of minimalist electronic music. You know, great stuff, of course. I love John Carpenter's soundtracks, but this is something very different, it's got to be said, and it gives the film a unique atmosphere amongst his films, to have a much more cinematic soundtrack in this way. Once the paranoia sort of starts to set in on the film, amongst the crew, it's very tense for a long time, and the trouble is with that, it kind of overkills a little bit. In the middle of the film, there seem to be a lot of times where you're kind of waiting for something to happen, and those things do come. They do come, and they you know, as these guys go more and more insane, trying to work out what is going on and who is one of these creatures, becoming as much a danger to themselves as the creature is, in a sort of ironic twist of the movie. But I've got to say that doesn't really have much of an overall bearing on things. I mean, it's only occasionally, and, you know, this movie is kind of action-packed enough and, you know, splattery enough that you leave feeling pretty fulfilled. Obviously the ending of the movie is iconic, the classic cliffhanger not cliffhanger type of deal. with them lying out in the snow, not knowing if either of the other one is indeed the thing, or if they have eradicated it, or their future. Well, they're fairly resigned to the fact they're going to die, or the future of humanity, because that's the point, is that if this thing reaches, the real world, it would wipe humans out very, very quickly. Yeah, that kind of tense, almost kind of downer ending is a really interesting and quite unique way of ending the movie. Overall, it might be predictable, but I'm a big John Carpenter fan, I've got to say. I mean, his movies, I haven't seen all of them, but there aren't many movies he made that I come away from unsatisfied. And this is no exception, dude. The Thing is a great movie. It's great for fans of horror, for fans of action, for fans of sci-fi. There's so much going on here to enjoy. I would recommend it in a heartbeat, checking this movie out. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 score. Like I say, the movie's just got a really beautifully executed atmosphere. Visually, it's stunning. And it has a really unique vibe as well. So yeah, this is definitely a movie that you should be watching. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luke Innes. Please like, comment and subscribe. All of that would be greatly appreciated. Also, go down into the description and check out the link to my podcast. It's called Ironcast. It is fantastic. It's all about music. So if you're into your music, please go and check that out. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time.